if The Sims 4 gets any more gay at this point, I fear they might need to add a rainbow filter to their build and buy mode, because oh my word, in the making of this Pride theme video, I know I kind of look like I'm dressed more for the country club than I am, you know, the gay club. We are, of course, still celebrating Pride the way we do pretty much every day on this channel. Let's focus on all the gay items that are available in The Sims 4. I wanted to make this video, and then my girlfriend was like, oh my god, you need to make it, because I didn't know that so many of these items existed, and I figured a ton of you who may be celebrating Pride within your game, you might be hosting coming out parties for your Sims and all their pals. You might also not know that a lot of these rainbow swatches exist. So I want to be your gay little guide. I want to take you by the hand and show you everything that The Sims has to offer. When everyone was complaining about diversity and inclusion being too much these days, I was like, I just want my games to be consistently gay, gaiety, gay. And The Sims said, voila, here you go. We are actually about to serve. Oh my word, an EnglishSimmer video where I'm not kicking off in Create Sim. What is happening? That is because we actually got a number of cute new assets for build mode. So I just figured we'd go over build and buy mode first. The first three are actually these three art pieces that were all made by queer artists. So the game actually collaborated and paid, I'm hoping, the artists for their contribution to the game. First one was made by Jupiter, known as Midnight Fox 452 on Twitter. Jupiter is a non-binary trans person who identifies as a lesbian, use many different hues and varied pride flags in their work to infuse it with the infectious vibrancy of The Sims 4. As you can see, we got the pan flag. We've also got a little alien in the back. This, I feel, could be a little head nod towards Agnes Crumplebottom. With the aromantic flag in the back, we also have the trans flag, lesbian flag, obviously the rainbow pride flag, the progress pride flag. The next one was by Ash Luca Draws over on Twitter and Instagram, wrought with shades of pink and purple, two soft bodies women embracing. Shows off the interconnectedness and freedom. And then finally we have the piece by Mohammed, a recipe for good times. That actually shows off found family, which obviously Pride Month, the gay community in general, a lot of found family within the community. We love a company putting their money where their mouth is during Pride Month, and The Sims have obviously, Maxis have always done that. One of the very first assets that we received, I think way back in 2017, I want to say. I actually last Pride Month did a whole history deep dive on LGBTQ rep within the game, so I'm gonna link that at the end of this video if you want like actual details. But we recently got more up-to-date and updated pride flags, so we actually have three different versions of this now, which obviously all have different swatches on them. So if you're wondering, hey, where did this one go, they've now been split into like three separate different flags, but they now also include the MLM, the gay pride flag, which is lovely to see. Moving on to the newer items that we got in build mode, we actually got this out and about wall shelf. I want to give you the names because they are sometimes really hard to find. Like, you can't just type in shelf and this appear. But we have the Flying Tiger rainbow bag along with a shirt, which again also shows off a bunch of different colors. We've also got the plaid shirt. If you know, you know. This one is absolutely giving Rachel Amber core. This came with the latest update, which is kind of this like knitted pride flag. This doesn't come in every single single iteration that we have on all of these three, but there are the more inclusive ones. There's also Two-Spirit, you have the Philadelphia, you have the Progress Pride flag. Again, you have the MLM Pride flag included on this knitted version. This piece of decor, which I absolutely love. I think this is great for teenagers and young adults. This is another pride flag. Again, doesn't have every single version that we are used to seeing in like these other ones, but then it also has art around it. It has some like Polaroids and this little like rainbow, I kind of guess LED, but it doesn't actually light up, I don't think. Love that the pride flag is signed. It's kind of like someone has taken it to a pride event and had their friends and family sign it, like the people that they've met. We also got this, which has different art pieces depending on which kind of flag you choose. I absolutely love the trans rights version of this. Absolutely stunning with like the shark. Again, just a really nice piece for those Sims who kind of want to show off their pride, maybe in a slightly more toned down kind of way. Like, you're only really gonna clock this if you are actually part of the community and obviously know your pride flags. And then finally, I'm fairly sure from this recent update, obviously there are some Creator Sim assets that we will go over as well. We got these beds right here, which have a ton of colors on them, and then you also just have a white swatch and a black swatch as well. I absolutely love the rainbow piece across the headboard. Asexual, non-binary flag. You also, again, for the lesbians out there, absolutely love this. I think it's such a cute bed, actually. I also just really love the simplicity of this bed. There is actually this rainbow effect door, which is part of the base game. This is the top swatch, so this is actually what it looks like within the game. You also have a version that has just like the white door frame around it, and then you kind of have another couple, like few that aren't specifically, I feel, any like type of pride flag. Moving on to the assets from other packs. This is honestly, I think, one of the gayest pieces that we have in the game. I hate how it doesn't jump straight to it when you click on it now using the eyedropper tool. This is the Sims in Uniform calendar. Now, some of you might not think that this has gay energy, but I personally think it does. You have a police officer one, you have actually two police officers, which, I mean, it is get to work and then kind of like a traffic. We call them lollipop people over here in the UK. That's a traffic warden though. That's not giving a lollipop person. So I didn't want to just solely focus on like, oh, this gives these colors, so therefore it's this flag. Like, I didn't just want to be all about that. I also wanted to include the assets that I think just have like such a gay vibe to them. We have this childhood wonder. Now, inherently, rainbows are obviously a huge part of the community, but rainbows are also super useful for teaching kids colors, and also if you want to teach them progression and inclusivity and diversity and, respecting people. But I did want to include it because it is a little rainbow, and then there is also a more pastel version. It's too light inside to show this off, but this is Neon Dreams. This is a wall decal from high school years. I will say high school years in particular has an awful lot of like rainbow assets and also just like colors that kind of like give reference to the LGBTQ plus community. And this is a little neon rainbow swatch. The first one of this is this kind of little lotus flower. In Parenthood, you have the Tooth Fairy hero sticker, which honestly just reminds me of Nyan Cat, and I wanted to include it because it did have a little rainbow on it. Again, another little rainbow decal, this time from Lovestruck. This is the first swatch, but then you can actually find the rainbow under there, and I absolutely love this little rainbow. You can also make it like smaller to put it up in rooms. Maybe you want to put that above a shelf and kind of make your own shelf. These two, I feel, are some of the most hidden gems that we have when it comes to LGBT rep within The Sims 4. These came way back in The Sims 4 seasons. It all starts off with this little freezer bunny in a wreath, but if you are, celebrating a queer wedding, queer love, then there is a bride and a bride and a groom and a groom. There is also a bride and a groom as well. Just such an easy way to be inclusive. More wedding card creators should do this. Like, just give people the options that we need. Again, if you want to maybe have a coming out party, you want to celebrate Pride within your game, you want to invite around your closest friends and family, then you can use the balloons and banner. This is actually just base game, but it is unlockable, so you have to complete a birthday party at silver level or higher. But this does come in a couple of colors where you can definitely get away with using that for Pride. A selection of posters, the artistic assembly, again from high school years. It comes like with this dog and like calendar. I went through so many wall decorations for this video. My eyes were so strained, but I included this one obviously with like the gender equality peace symbol. Another little head nod is the Finchwick wall pennants. No matter what you fancy, these pennants are something for everyone. Display them proudly, even if you just like llamas. Now, this one isn't specifically the aromantic flag, I don't think, because this I feel would maybe be grey if it was. This is more like green through to brown, but I guess you could also use it as the aromantic flag if you wanted to. Obviously, this is part of cottage living. Another base game update. I'm fairly sure we got an update to these back maybe when my wedding story came out, or maybe just after. This is initially what this portrait actually looked like. It is a portrait of marriage, but then they updated it to actually have two other different couples apart from just these like Tudor-esque people. Now, these really only work, I guess, if you want to say that these are maybe people within your family or they're like the Sims that you're playing as. Sometimes I don't particularly like it when they do portraits, because it does sometimes feel like, oh great, now I have to like make my Sims based off these, or else it doesn't really make sense for the story. But I do absolutely love the representation of these two. I absolutely adore that they gave us an MLM couple and a Wooloo couple. Props to you, Sims team. Again, with these posters, the vintage vignettes. Now, I'm actually not a huge fan of the kit that this came with, which is, of course, I always call it like Parisian restaurant. I don't even know what it's called. The Cozy Bistro kit, not a huge fan of it, but I absolutely love these decor assets. You have these two dudes, maybe they could be lesbians covering themselves to look like men back when that was like necessary defense, and they are having a little dance together, kind of showing off the wine that they have on offer. And then also gay rights. I love this. I ship them together. I want to make Sims based off these two. Like, that is a love story for the ages. Taylor Swift would write a song about them. Like I said, high school years really said, I am here for bisexual rights and trans rights. That is my main function. There is so much in high school years that has like the trans pride colors and also bisexual pride colors. So if you're looking for anything for your bisexual or trans Sims, you need to get your hands on high school years. I use this mirror as kind of like an example. There's also this little like woven wonder drapes. Just go through those because you will find so much like baby blue, pink and white, and then also pink, purple and blue. You can thank me in the comments down below. But we do obviously have some like party stuff. We have the seasonal pleated fan bunting. I actually use this an awful lot when I am hosting Pride. I usually do a Pride holiday within my game, obviously with the Sims 4 Seasons, which this bunting came with, and you can decorate your house in this. You can obviously also use like the multicolored like fairy lights to add more rainbow to your builds. Then in the party kit that we got, in the party essentials, which truly doesn't feel super essential to throwing parties, but we did get a bunch of streamers. We got this rainbow one that actually like sits on your ceiling, and then we got these two different variations which you can kind of use as a cute little backdrop. The OG of all OG Pride assets within the game, we have the 2 hearts, which came with Outdoor Retreat, the very first pack that we got in The Sims 4, and it had a pride flag in it. I use this for so many Sims. I have this as like decor so frequently in LGBTQ plus homes. I absolutely love it. I love that it looks handmade, as if someone's either gifted it to them or maybe someone has like made it for their partner. The Night Bright butterflies, these came with Parenthood. There are obviously other swatches available. There's like more pastel variants, but there is also a rainbow variant. And then going on to these mirrors that I have down here, we discovered that this one has a full-on fan fiction to it. Actually, there's like girlies talking to one another. It kind of feels a little bit stalkery, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, this sim is like crossed out, like the X crossed out, and then you have these two kind of cuddling and being very, very cute in a photo booth. But then you also have pictures of someone like playing chess and sleeping. I don't know, could be cute, could be giving Joe from You. That's kind of what my outfit is giving. Be honest with me, am I giving Joe from You? Love Struck. And then we have one, The Whole Truth by Kim Mick, which is from Discover University. I just wanted to include this because it included a little rainbow sticker that they look like they got at a pride protest. This is Discover University. I just want to pretend that these two are boyfriends going to a little baseball game together. I'm sure there's an awful lot of assets that have like photos that you could infer stuff from, for sure. Again, Party Essentials plays a huge role, as does My Wedding Stories, to nobody's shock. Or, I mean, maybe a little bit of horror. But don't worry, there are also a couple of like season items. Even if you don't want to pick up My Wedding Stories to throw at big gay weddings, you can still kind of do it with base game and seasons. These balloons are both from the Party Essentials. Then My Wedding Stories, I mean, gaudy as hell. But if you can't be gaudy at a wedding, when can you be? We have the slightly longer, still effortless straight curtain. Not so straight curtain, thank you very much. This orange swatch is where you will find the rainbow. Then you have a more gathered version, the shorter versions. Again, a ton of different wedding arches that came with My Wedding Stories. You've got the rainbow candles on this one specifically. Again, it has a little rainbow swatch so you can tell. Then you have these like ombre ones that came with My Wedding Stories. These flowers came with My Wedding Stories. This celebration table where you can put like the chocolate fountain and like serve buffet food around it. My Wedding Stories, fairly sure this one also My Wedding Stories. It's like corporate pride threw up on it. My Wedding Stories, My Wedding Stories. This one has a little tie in the back. This is the mullet chair. This is the Fenwick V banquet table. Sorry, I should have been telling you these. This is the fun table, Gravy Mountain mark, and the scepter of flowers. Plastic see-through chair with the rainbow ombre, which I actually really love. Not quite the ghost chair. This actually isn't a wedding arch. This is a little like decal, like garland. This came in The Sims 4 Seasons. But again, you have that rainbow version, whereas this is the default swatch, so you can kind of put that around your walls. We all love a gay Christmas. Kiss whoever you want to kiss under that mistletoe this year. Seasons, the one table, this last swatch right here is kind of a table set up for like party foods and snacks. Again, maybe if you are hosting Pride at your house, you can also use the all seasons welcome mat. I kind of wish there was a gayer welcome mat. Like, I kind of wish there was one that with like a rainbow on, and then also one that just said like, hi gay in Simlish. Sims team, put it in, please, I beg. I wanted to include this little perfect plastic pencil cup from Kayla's kit, from the gamer kit that we got, because it does have a little pride flag on the pot, which is super cute. This kind of looks like it could potentially be like a summer party, or it could actually be a pride party that you have going on. This little light, the neon love light from, once again, high school years. Island living, I thought that these were seasons, but you got the gay towels. If you have played Life is Strange before the storm, these will definitely float your boat, because these feel like the towels that Chloe decorated her van with when she found it in the scrapyard. Obviously the seasons pool floats, the Bob's classic float lounger comes in a rainbow swatch. Why do I keep saying seasons? These are all Island living. These whales who are gay, they're holding hands. Love that for them. The gay Christmas tree, stroke of midnight department store holiday spruce. God, that's a mouthful and a half. This is also part of Seasons. Gay postbox, fairly sure this is Seasons. Seasons really said gay rights. I did a video the other day ranking packs on how gay they were, and I actually forgot how gay Seasons was. Seasons was an ally before we even knew that we needed an ally in the Sims 4 packs. The people always think My Wedding Stories did that, but truly, Seasons was before their time. These two wedding arches actually got an update. I'm fairly sure 4 My Wedding Stories released, and this is the rainbow version, but it is definitely giving, I feel, more trans pride because of kind of like the colors that they've used. They've kind of got like that pastel-y color, especially like the pink and the blue. And then this one, these again are both base games. So like I said, you don't actually need My Wedding Stories to have your big gay wedding of your dreams. Now, I know I said I wasn't gonna try and get too hung up on like looking at things that just had rainbows and being like, this has a rainbow, therefore it's gay, which yes, we are trying to reclaim the rainbow back off the NHS. I feel like that is something that we as the UK queer community have actually managed to do. So thank you, legends. I appreciate you all for the reclamation of our rainbow. But I do feel like these are kind of giving like queer artists, and I absolutely love that, you know, flood the streets with the alphabet-y spaghetti. These are actually an unlock in the freelance artist career. The gay bike from, I'm fairly sure this is Growing Together. It is not. It is from Businesses and Hobbies. There might actually be one in Growing Together as well, but this one is super gay. There is also a bike frame that you can actually find in the bike frame collection, which also has like a rainbow effect to it that you can use as decoration, but that's not actually available in debug, so therefore I cannot show it to you. In Seasons, if you want to throw a little Pride festival, if you want to have a park set up to celebrate Pride, and you want to have like people performing, people like hanging out, doing face painting, making friendship bracelets, stuff like that, then you can use these lanterns that we have, the Lamaco outdoor lanterns. My Wedding Stories little gazebo, this is known as the wedding tent. You can have it in this gay ombre effect with or without fairy lights, depending on your choosing. And then also this little stand from Home Chef Hustle. Again, really, really good if you do want to go sell your wares at a Pride festival. Moving on to my comfort character of The Sims 4, we have Creator Sim. I am going to start off with the latest assets that we actually received. Fairly sure these dropped at the beginning of April, end of March of this year. These are the ones where my girlfriend was like, you need to make a video. I'm like, I actually made a full dedicated video. So, you know, if you want to go watch that, then feel free. But I will also include them in this video for your benefit. Starting off with the new Pride makeup. Now, this doesn't come in like every single Pride flag swatch that we actually have as the LGBTQ plus community. However, you can also change the hue. The one negative about this is it also kind of has this like inbuilt like highlighter and kind of blush, which when you do start to play around with the hue section, it actually starts to change the way that the blush works. So definitely not as usable as I would like it to be. Obviously you can like drop the opacity a little bit, but then it kind of just makes your Sims look a little bit sickly. And I wish that it was just done a little bit better, even if they had given us maybe the like blush and highlighter as like different things so that you could like build this look up yourself. This shirt, which is actually now probably one of my favorite assets that we have in the Sims 4 base game. I absolutely love this shirt. You kind of just have your more like generic gay flag, like more pastel, pansexual, lesbian, genderqueer, pride flag, MLM, transgender, bisexual, non-binary, asexual, and then also again just some more like rainbow versions. Then you do also just have a plain black and a plain white. So again, unfortunately, what is this piece of glitter? Oh my god, I went to catch it so long ago now. It knew that I was making a pride video. It said, I want to make an appearance, actually. And then also these shorts, which also have a little rainbow going over them. Pretty much the same colors that we have in the shirt as well. And then it has this also little star, so it's kind of like a shooting star going around your sim in this embroidery. These are available for both masculine and feminine Sims, by the way. The shorts are also available for child Sims, and then you've got these little socks. I say little, they're not so little, they are quite large socks. There's multiple different versions with like the trans pride, then you just have like more generic rainbow. There are actually also just like block swatches of these, and I really love these ones. I kind of love the ombre, but they are extremely tall socks. And finally, we got these little Converse, which you have like the pastel versions. These are all kind of like a tie-dye of pride flags, which are so sick. Again, you just have a black and white swatch. They actually look a little bit better than the original base game Converse that we did have. I also just love this because Converse are like one of the brands that will consistently put out like pride stuff during Pride Month. And they usually do it in such like a slick way where they'll have like rainbow on the undersole, and you can just have like a plain white and then just like a flash of rainbow, which I really love. Converse actually feel like one of the brands who are like, we want to make stuff that's like super wearable to like a lot of different people, no matter your circumstance throughout Pride Month. And unfortunately, following on from the really good and like modern and like super wearable Pride merch that we have in the game, onto the not so wearable, in my opinion. You wouldn't catch me dead in a V-neck t-shirt. Favorite one is definitely this one with like the rainbow flag on the shoulders. I like that that is like a little head nod, but you have the white version and the black version. There is actually an It Gets Better one. I think there is an English version of that, but I might actually have a mod that overrides. So I do apologize for the It Gets Better erasure. I do apologize. It Gets Better are a wonderful charity that they actually collabed with for this. It also included the non-gender exclusive doors for bathrooms, which obviously then meant that we had gender inclusive bathroom doors within the game, which I didn't actually point out in build and buy mode, but those do now exist, and they exist in base game. These leggings, which again, I'm sorry, they're just not for me. That's okay if they're for you, that's absolutely fine, but I don't ever really use these leggings, and I don't think I ever will. But you know, they're there. I think they're kind of cute as like a sleepwear, or you know, just like lounging around the house. We also got the binder as part of a base game update. Again, I can't remember the dates of all of these. Unfortunately, this doesn't work like a binder. It doesn't bind your Sim's chest whatsoever, which is super unfortunate. I wish that it did actually bind a Sim's chest and like their chest was made smaller if they were wearing this asset. They also kind of just have to wear it as a vest top. It's not like you can put this on and then layer something over the top of it, which is typically how binders like work IRL. So really the only time you could use this, I guess, is like by the pool, but also swimming in a binder definitely isn't safe. Please bind safely. Please do your research figure out what works for you, your body, take breaks when necessary if needed. And finally, we have this like body piece, which is kind of giving like swimsuit. Let me test if the little hack of putting like different underwear on under this like actually removes it. So it does. So if you actually use this base game, you can use it as a swimsuit. Just put these like this little thong on as your bottoms, and that counts for like all bodysuits. It means that you can't really see the Sims underwear because this is the default and usually that's what you can see. Stick on this little thong and bada bing bada boom, you got a cute little swimming costume. I like this as a swimming costume. I know it's like a little bit like corporate pridey, and by that I mean you're tacky and I hate you, but it's a little bit of fun, you know? And again, if you want to wear it like actually as a bodysuit, I think this is fun. For like a pride look, I think this is super, super cute. Eliza looks sick. Obviously, with my wedding stories, we got an awful lot for the gay weddings. We got this suit right here, which has a gay little pocket square. Lads, is it gay to wear a pocket square? In this particular outfit? Yes, absolutely. In the best way. And then the rainbow lapels actually fits feminine Sims super, super well, which always gets a thumbs up in my book. I actually really, really enjoy this suit. A lot of people hate this. I actually love it. Like, I would have liked it if there was maybe a second swatch that kind of had more of like an ombre effect on this like cape scenario. I also maybe would have loved it if this had like stayed white and then this mesh, they could have done like a little like pastel like rainbow. I do think there are things that I would change about it, but I really don't hate it the way that some of the gay community who play The Sims 4 dislike this outfit. I actually think it's a little bit of a slay. This is my favorite. I absolutely love the little detail. The fact that you just have like the rainbow across the pockets is so cute. I have my teen Sims wear this an awful lot for prom. Dress right here, which kind of looks like homemade. I don't know what. These kind of give me like feathers, which kind of gives like the homemade element. Also kind of just looks like when we were all emos and we used to like melt crayons and create like those melted wax canvases, and I feel like an elder emo who figured out that they were part of the LGBTQ plus community would wear this to their wedding. I really like it. I like the detail of the buttons. Again, in my wedding stories for the femme Sims, we had this little suit top which just has the rainbow collar. Then more wedding dresses, but these are actually the base game dresses that were updated when my wedding stories came out. So there's a ton of different swatches on these. The rainbow buttons are so cute. We also have one of the pride tattoos, which there are a couple of pride tattoos that I have forgot to put on my Sims. So thank you, Desiree, for wearing that. You got this big rainbow on the bottom on this swatch. Then you got the kind of like pastel version of this, which I love. Another pastel version, which is all over with kind of like the hint of white. And then the pastel like ombre, the white into the pastel moment. Then there's this base game dress, which is all in white from the get-go, but again with another 4 swatches. So you have this, it's giving clown, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of giving tragic clown at the best of times. But the pastel version, I would never wear this wedding dress myself. It is not for me, but I do kind of like how it looks on some Sims. Again, you have the pastel version with this bit pastel instead of this inside bit, and then you have the all over pastel version. You don't need my wedding stories to have a big old gay wedding these days because we got some gay dresses in base game. However, my wedding stories did in fact add some rainbow rep in their wedding rings as well. So you have this ring with kind of like the rainbow surrounding this big blue diamond, and then there is also this wooden version which has like a rainbow running through it. This is also available for masculine Sims. Speaking of masculine Sims, obviously in the Carnival kit have like 4 swatches that do kind of resemble some of the flags in the community, community. So if you have that pack, definitely check that netted top out. They again have the It Gets Better shirt. This is also available for both children and toddlers, and maybe honestly even infants in the game. But for some reason, I again have a bit of CC that overrides this for children, so I can't actually show it to you. I need to remove that custom content. For the boys, when it comes to My Wedding Stories, again, you got this suit that the feminine Sims also got, like the suit top. You have this opened shirt with the rainbow collar. I also really like that this is black with a hint of rainbow, because I feel like we don't get that mix very often. Usually it's like white and rainbow, so it's kind of nice that they've given something a little bit different. We have this shirt, which is available in the rainbow swatch, and this full bodysuit, again, it's the same as the one that we saw on the feminine Sims with the rainbow tie, pocket square, and lapels, alongside this little like rainbow suspenders combo with the little rainbow bow tie. This is actually a little base game blazer. I can't remember when we actually received this in the game, or if these are just kind of like recolors. I know these weren't available on release, but you kind of have this like rainbow D20, and then there's also another kind of like rainbow splotches version as well if you wanted to throw that on. Maybe you're going a drag night and you want to get a little bit fancy, you want to get a little bit dressed up. Another base game blazer that has a rainbow swatch to it. Again, you got like the rainbow buttons with the tie and the little pocket square. It is just a version of this one that I think Mortimer Goth wears at some point. Unfortunately though, there's not a full bodysuit in base game that has been recolored to have like rainbow swatches, which does feel like a little bit of a missed opportunity, especially because we got these 3 new ones recently and they're all really dark colors. Again, kids have access to the new shorts and the new Converse. They also have the It Gets Better top. This is the top on infants. This is what it looks like. This is also what it would look like on toddlers and kids within your game. I do love the little ice cream version. You also have this little rainbow swatch of this base game t-shirt. If you do want to take your kids along to the Pride celebrations with you, I think it's just such a cute little thing to get them dressed up to celebrate Pride as a family, which is why I also included this cute little rainbow unicorn that came obviously with Horse Ranch. My Wedding Stories also included this rainbow swatch of a Shawani. This is also available with 2 different headpieces and then without the headpiece. I would have maybe used the embroidery as a way to be able to like get the rainbow effect, or even just maybe have it as like an ombre. I think when it is this like blocky rainbow, I think that's fine, but also maybe add like a different variant onto it. And then also this My Wedding Stories outfit, which is absolutely stunning. This is what I would have liked to seen on the Shawani, with just having like those features. Of course, under body scars, we did actually get the top surgery scars. We also have a cesarean scar as well, and there are a couple of Pride themed tattoos. There's this rainbow version of the plum bob. This was a Pride themed tattoo that I'm fairly sure came in the most recent like Pride update that just landed back in March or April. And this back piece with the roses, again in base game, a lot of the representation when it comes to the LGBTQ plus community comes in base game updates, and I honestly would just love to see that continue, not only for the LGBTQ plus community, but also for other minorities and diverse voices. Obviously, we have been seeing Afro textured hairstyles, black hairstyles coming to the game a little bit more frequently when it comes to base game updates, but I definitely think we need more when it comes to base game updates and inclusivity. And finally, of course, there are definitely some nails that we have in the game which are inspired by Pride flags. You also have just like full on rainbow ones, trans rights, many different colors and variations that you can do to show your pride. And and breathe. Oh my goodness, I feel like I've just been spewing rainbows for the last hour, which honestly appropriate. It's Pride Month. If I can't spew rainbows in Pride Month, when can I spew rainbows? But thank you all so much for tuning in. This was a full-on rundown of, I hope, almost every item that celebrates like queer pride within The Sims 4. The Sims has always been at the forefront when it comes to LGBTQ rights and representation, not only in video gaming, but just in like pop culture in itself. So I can only imagine that this game is going to continue getting gayer and gayer, and I can only encourage the team to do that. I appreciate you all so much. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if there's anything you feel I was missing. Like I said, I didn't want to focus too much on, you know, this item has this swatch, which kind of looks like this flag, because that could have taken hours upon hours, but I'm sure there's like a lot of hidden pride flags. There you go. There's a new game for you all to play when you're playing The Sims 4 next. Wave your pride flag around every time you spot a hidden rainbow. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know if there's any new items that I may have introduced you to throughout this video, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.